many different reasons that are causing your social anxiety and so many different factors. And whilst I'm not going to dispute the fact that it is probably a mental problem you're dealing with, it's maybe an interpretation of past experiences like trauma. There are certain lifestyle choices you can make that can help alleviate your symptoms hugely and can like put you on the right path to be in the right mindset to deal with your mental issues. Like if you if you do these lifestyle changes, they could possibly alleviate all your social anxiety. I'm not promising anything. I'm not saying they will, but they can give you the tools to have your body less stressed and more optimized, which help you deal with the mental chatter more, which helps you alleviate the physiological effects of social anxiety. As I've got healthier, like when I first started out on this journey before I got into the gym, I was so anxious all the time, like so incredibly anxious that like I couldn't even speak to women. I couldn't speak to people without having my hands in out my pockets, brain fog. I'd always have to avert from conversations. And like through a process of getting really healthy, I've found that like it doesn't trigger as much anymore. Whilst I still have anxiety there and it arises, the symptoms are like 80% like better. I have like 20% anxiety now, which is still annoying because it's there. It's still anxiety, but it's calm. I can deal with it. I can push through and get out of my comfort zone. And this is through the lifestyle choices I make. This is why I inspire so much to be healthy and I work on myself so much, because when I don't do these things, my anxiety flares up massively. I start feeling really less energetic, more depressed. But when I make sure I'm on point with my lifestyle choices and I'm doing the things I'm going to speak about in today's video, my whole existence feels more confident, more purposeful, more energetic. So what are the things I am doing and I recommend for you to do? And the first one, which is something I never hear anyone talk about, is stop eating so many carbohydrates. That might feel completely out of left ball. Like people are thinking, what is he talking about? Carbohydrates, anxiety. And obviously, nutrition is very individualized, so this might not be applicable to everyone. But for the majority of people, this is going to make a huge difference. So what happens is when you eat loads of carbohydrates, say if you're like very carb dependent, you're constantly spiking your blood sugar levels. And your blood sugar levels are actually intact with your energy levels. So say if you're eating loads of glucose all of a sudden, your blood sugar is going to go spike up and then your energy levels are going to go up massively. But because they've gone up, they now have to come back down massively to equalize again. So your energy levels are constantly dependent on when you're eating. So you eat the carbohydrates, they spike up. And then after the glucose gets like digested in your body and burnt, your blood sugar level goes massively down to bring you back to balance again. So your energy levels are constantly fluctuating. And when this is happening, you're getting like heightened experiences of stress hormones, which are leading to the physiological effects of social anxiety, the increased cortisol, the adrenaline. You're literally increasing the stress hormones that happen when you have social anxiety through eating carbohydrates. Also, you get the burning of free toxins when you're constantly burning glucose, and this causes systemic inflammation in your body, which then is going to lead to the increase of cortisol, adrenaline, autoimmune problems, the increase in anxiety. So your diet and eating too many carbohydrates can actually have a direct effect of how you feel. And I get this right now. Like if I eat a high fat, high protein breakfast, I feel smooth and energetic. My energy levels are stable. And I'm not getting like random bouts of anxiety coming up in the day. But when I'm having like loads of carbohydrates, or even to me, for a certain extent, when I'm having like 100 grams of carbohydrates, my body feels different. I feel dissociated away from my environment. And this could be just because the biological way my body is designed is not to have carbs, and maybe other people are fine, but this is definitely something you need to look into, because your diet has a massive impact on the way you operate, and you are what you eat. So cut out the carbohydrates. Try maybe going on a ketogenic diet or a low carb diet and see how much your energy level's stable and how little your anxiety flares up because of this. Also, You want to look at foods that you're intolerant to. So if you're having like random bouts of anxiety, maybe it could be because you're eating foods that are causing imbalances in your gut biome. And 95% of our serotonin is made in our gut biome, right, which sends chemicals to our brain for the modulation of mood. So if you're eating foods that you're intolerant to or you're allergic to, that's going to be unbalancing your gut biome and causing like imbalanced gut bacteria, which can actually influence the way you think and feel, can increase the production of cortisol, adrenaline. So that's what I mean by certain lifestyle choices. What are you eating day in, day out that could be flaring your anxiety? There's people that have like gluten and dairy intolerances, and as soon as they cut these out, their anxiety just completely goes. And it was all because they were eating foods that they were intolerant to and constantly like taking their body out of homeostasis and putting it into a stress-filled environment. The next big one is sleep. Like when I don't sleep properly, my anxiety burst through the roof so much. Like, it's one of the biggest predictors for my anxiety is when I've had a poor night's of sleep. And not to the point where like I get anxious about having a poor night's of sleep. Like if I have one bad night, it's not too bad. Like I might get a little bit more anxiety in the day, but it's controllable. But if I'm constantly getting less than 8 hours of sleep per night, my anxiety and my stress levels shoot through the roof and I become extremely anxious. I start craving more foods that are bad for me. My mood levels are constantly up and down. And this all comes from not giving my body the rest that what it needs, not giving my body the REM sleep for it to digest all the information it's learned in the day and kind of help solve my problems through my dreams. Tanks your testosterone as well. Like when you're sleeping very little, like 6 hours a night or less, you're constantly tanking your testosterone, which is leading you to feel less energetic and making you feel less confident, bringing up more self-limiting beliefs. So like sleep is a massive one. And this is what I mean by lifestyle choices. Again, making sure you're eating properly, you're sleeping properly. When I don't exercise, my mind seems to be a lot more wayward. It seems to be very easy to attach to negative thoughts and emotions. So making sure you're exercising regularly, doing the best things to put your body in the best balance for you to feel confident. Another one is social media. Like stop going on social media so much. And this is another one that is like directly impacts the way I feel. Again, when I'm constantly on social media and I'm seeking the validation of others, it's ruining my self-esteem. I'm constantly like living up to this persona that I'm trying to portray on social media, and I'm seeing the highlights of others all the time. I'm seeing people going out socializing, speaking to loads of women, loads of people in relationships, and it's reinforcing where I am not. But in reality, all you're doing is comparing their highlights to your life. All you see on social media is the best of people, and you're then comparing the best of them to what you see you as, and you see the day-to-day struggles. So the more you go on social media, the more stressed you're going to be, the more self-limiting beliefs you're going to have, the more you're going to doubt yourself. And this is going to like perpetuate into the rest of your life, making you less confident. It's going to spike up your dopamine receptors all the time. So you're constantly feeling like you have to distract yourself, running away from your thoughts. So now you're not having any time to be present. You're not dealing with what's going on in your mind, which is going to lead to you attaching to more and more negative thoughts. Social media is a big one because it makes people out as they are like the gods, like they're perfect, and you know for a fact they're not. So that's another lifestyle choice, is limit how much you're on your phone and the distraction. Be present in the moment and digest your own thoughts. Next one is making sure you're socializing. When you suffer with social anxiety, it can be very easy to rationalize excuses not to go out and socialize. But you need to prioritize having a good bond with your friends and people who better you and want to see you improve, because without this, you're going to seclude yourself and you're going to make it up in your mind that social situations are bigger than what they are. But like normal social situations are just, they're part and parcel of your day. You need to get used to these. And the more you do, and the more you start to get like a sense of gratitude for just being with people and bouncing off their ideas and just having a good time. That's what life is about. It's about relationships with people. not about you sitting in your room and trying to like read your problems away or meditate your problems away. It's about having experiences and enjoying life. And when you've got social anxiety, it can be easy to avoid that. So like you need to make sure you've got a social life and a dating life as well. There's lifestyle choices that better your social anxiety. You can't be avoiding all these. So that's what I would say. Diet, sleep, limiting your phone time, exercise, social and dating life. And if you can hit all of them, then you're freeing up your mind to have time to pursue a career, have time to feel confident. But the career shouldn't come at the cost of any of them. They are the core fundamental of what is life, of what is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They're all there before the feeling of career, purpose. And whilst you have to sacrifice some of these at certain times in your life to achieve your greater purpose, you should always make sure you're hitting your basic needs, because without these, you're going to feel like you're behind of something. You're not feeling right. And like 2 things I've ignored have been the social and dating life. The rest of it's pretty good. Like I meditate, I exercise, I try limit my phone use. It's getting a bit worse at the moment because I'm posting regular Instagram content. But I've really like stopped with the dating and social life, and it's something I really need to improve on, because this is clear to me that I need to take action on this. So which of these lifestyle choices out of the 5 or 6 that I mentioned do you need to focus on? Do you know you're not looking after? Because if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating well, if you're not exercising, if you're on social media all day, if you've not got a dating and social life, then you're going to feel anxiety, because that anxiety is a signal that something needs to change. That's a good way of seeing anxiety is like it's a signal from a part of you or a part of your brain that is like flashing to you that something needs to be done about what you're currently doing. You're not living a fulfilled and happy life, so you need to change something. And that's a good way to see it. I think that's a productive way to see it. And for me, it's very clear that when you're not meeting them basic needs, anxiety will come up in whatever way possible. So yeah, that lifestyle choices to overcome social anxiety. Make sure you're hitting all these. Make sure you're looking after your body and you're out there putting yourself out your comfort zone and meeting new people, and like meeting people that align with who you are, not trying to be someone else. I know it's easier said than done, but anxiety is a process of not just dealing with your past traumas, but also being the person that you know you need to be as well.